Now we've got an energy executive from the trenches, really, who says that the president's policies hurt the industry.
Bruce Vincent is the president of oil and natural gas producer Swift Energy. He joins us now in a Fox Business exclusive. Bruce, the president says that energy prices are just beyond his ability to do anything about them. That is, they're all affected by external events, what's going on in Iran, all of the demand coming from China, et cetera. Is he right?
Oh, absolutely not. U.S. government can create an energy policy for this country that helps bring that price down because our industry has an ability to grow supplies. Well, one of the things that's happened recently is new technology has come along that's allowed the U.S. oil and gas industry to exploit tight shale and tight gas formation. And we've created this incredibly abundant supply now of natural gas. People have heard about a 100-year-plus supply of natural gas, and now we're redirecting that capital into liquid-rich and oil areas, and we're beginning to do that same thing on the oil production side. You're seeing oil production in this country climb for the first time in many, many years.
Do you feel this, or did you feel this way about President George W. Bush? Oil was at $137 a barrel in 2008, and he claimed that there was nothing he could do about it.
Well, there are aspects to the price of crude that are reflected in the world market conditions, whether it's a global economy, whether it's the political risk premium that's put on that, the conflict in the Middle East. That's certainly driving some of that rise in the price today.
Well, that would cut President Obama some slack, would it not, with all the tension in Iran and Israel?
Well, of course, then you can get back to his foreign policy in terms of how he's dealing with that. But the bigger issue is we can create more domestic supplies. Not only do you increase the supplies worldwide, because as we grow production in the U.S., we push out imports, push it back onto the world market, but it also has an influence on our own national security. We become less reliant on places like Venezuela and Iran for that oil and are sourcing it ourselves. And the added benefit of that is we're creating jobs and creating economic activity in this country at the same time.
What about taxes? We had a number of new policies that the president came out with, his ideas of how to lower corporate tax rates, getting rid of a lot of deductions, including those to oil and gas companies. What would that do to the oil and gas industry in this country?
Well, there's a lot to be said for tax reform, and we'd be happy to engage in those discussions with policymakers. But what the president loves to talk about, he loves to refer to the energy industry and its tax subsidies. The fact is the energy industry does not get any subsidies. It does get deductions for its normal and ordinary business expenses, just like every other industry gets.
Well, not every industry gets the deductions at the oil industry. They get about $4 billion specific deductions that the president was talking about getting rid of. What would happen if they did get rid of those deductions?
If you take away those deductions, what you do is directly reduce the cash flow that companies have to invest in the ground. We've estimated that that could be anywhere from 20 to 35%. Every company's going to be a little bit different, but you could end up taking as much as a third of the capital that's now going into the ground to drill wells and create supplies and actually take that away so it wasn't available for investment. Not only would you not grow production, but you would lose a lot of jobs and economic activity that aligns itself with that capital investment.
Bruce Vincent, Swift Energy president, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Mr. Vincent.
Glad
Coming
to be
up,
here. Thanks
getting
for having me.
hedge funds.